So if you follow me here on YouTube or even over on Instagram, you'll know that I recently bought this amp here. This is the Joey Landreth Signature Amp by 2Rock. And it's been a bit of a rocky start. In fact, so much so that I've even put it up for sale. Although whether it will actually be sold or not, I'm not sure. Because I put it up for sale this morning and then decided, actually, I want to give it another go. I had a really good think about this during the day. What is it that I'm not finding with this amp? And I think I've figured it out. The thing is, I was never looking to replace any of my favourite bread and butter amps. You know, the Fender style amps, like the 2Rock Classic Reverb, all my Fender amps. But I think when the amp arrived, I was just a little bit thrown off by the fact that it actually really doesn't feel at all like any of those amps. The attack is different, the reverb is very different, the EQ is very different. Just the whole sound altogether is not really related to those amps, it feels like. And so I was very much in a bluesy, stratty mood at that time, and it didn't occur to me that really I could use this to explore other sides of the music that I'm interested in. This video is really just an example of what I'm talking about. So I've got this R9 here, which is tuned down to C sharp, standard tuning but C sharp with baritone strings on, and I love playing this guitar. I love playing baritone guitars, I love playing low-tuned guitars. And they sound good through most of my amps, you know, good just because they're so resonant and there's that low frequency. But of course, Joey Landreth plays with low tuning. And although I tried at the beginning and thought, yeah, it sounds really good, I was just trying to play the amp by itself. I had this idea in my head that, you know, it's an expensive amp. Really, I should just be able to plug direct into the amp and get a sound that I want. But that's stupid. I'll repeat that. That was stupid. To buy the amp of a person who plays with a rocket ship of a pedal board and creates amazing, beautiful sounds with that, and then just think, I'll just play plugged straight in. What was the point? And then to think, I'm disappointed, it's just a clean platform feeling amp, without really diving deep into it and finding out, which I have today, it's not just a clean pedal platform amp. When you plug pedals into it, it does something all of its own. And that's what makes this amp really exciting. So what are these pedals that today have given me this sort of insight into this amp? Just quickly, we have the Argo by Mythos. Now this is a sort of blend pedal, like I think the original was called the Cob, and you can blend fuzz and octave together. I've got this with very little fuzz, very little blend, so there's not a lot of octave and a lot of boost. And I just find it gives that on the edge sound that Joey himself uses a lot. I really like it. and I think with humbuckers it sort of lifts everything. And that was going into the heavy hand side, so the blues breaker side of the Duelist, which is, you know, like all of the King Tone pedals, just really high quality, stacks well, sounds good, and gives you lots of options as to how you're going to tweak things. And then one of my favorite pedals that I like to have on a lot is the Analog Man delay. I don't use a lot of delay on it, just enough to give a sense of space, but what it does to the overall tone is lovely. It's just like, it's quite mellow, and I've had other people come here and I've turned it on and off, and they've gone and bought their own one because they realise, yeah, it does do something to your sound that sounds great. And then we've got the harmonic trem here on this pedal. So I had it on for the whole video because it's lovely and it's addictive. But yeah, it's a really good pedal they gave with it to do the 2 trems. And that was it, really. Nothing too complicated. But it's giving me a basis to think, okay, I could build a 6 or 8 pedal board with some fuzz faces and other types of fuzz to really get the most out of it. So, you know, I'd been having a terrible relationship with this gain knob here because I've often just put the gain up to absolute max, convinced that I'll be able to get the sort of edge of breakup blues tones that I love, and then not being able to get them. And I messaged Joey himself and asked him, and he's like, you know, you've got to be dynamic with this amp, you know, get some fuzz going, you know, get that fuzz pretty hot, roll it back, use your fingers, you know, it's going to do all sorts of cleanup and things, but it's up to you to play it. And he's right. This amp with an octave fuzz and an overdrive pedal after that and a delay, it's going from like screaming wicked sounds with a plectrum, then honestly use your fingers, it sounds like you haven't got anything but a little germanium boost or something plugged in. It's yeah, it's pretty amazing actually. So here's a bunch of clips that can last 3 or 4 minutes, and in that you'll see me, this is sort of like me just warming up earlier, and there's like sort of different types and things I'm trying, and sort of hitting hard, hitting soft, and trying to feel what this amp is doing with these pedals. And it's somewhere in this point that I really start to like get a light bulb moment. I might butt in once or twice if I feel the need, but if you can have the patience to watch for 3 or 4 minutes, I think you'll see how I go from not sure what this amp is about to okay, got ya. Something I thought I would get from this amp that I hadn't found yet, that I thought I could get without pedals, was that incredible dynamic sort of response where you're playing gently, and then as you hit harder, the reverb grows, the gain blooms, and everything sort of hits you, you know, square in the face. But once I put the pedals on, it does that probably. No, I don't want to overstate it, but maybe this amp is more effective at that than most other amps that I've tried, which doesn't surprise me. You know, that's what Joey Landreth wants. He wants the most touch responsive thing possible. And with all those gains and fuzzes stacked, that's what he's probably, you know, they've probably sat and made this amp with the idea of what he's going to be using it with roughly. So it shouldn't be a surprise that that's how it worked, but it actually blew me away. And the other thing is, I think this amp is best with humbuckers. I'm sure it works great with everything, but with humbuckers, which is what he's using right now, it does just, everything fits EQ wise and gain wise to a humbucker. So, you know, this guitar and that is just working great together. So, I've been battling with this amp since I got it, which is not something you want to say when you spent this much money on an amp and you were, super excited about it. But actually, like another friend of mine said a couple of days ago, when he received an amp and he just didn't get on with it for a good 6 months, you have to get the mindset that if you're looking for the same thing in every amp, then why are you even buying more than 1 or 2 amps? You don't need them, that's for sure. And maybe that's something I've realized is I actually have a lot of amps that cover the same ground, but this one doesn't. It actually covers completely new territory compared to pretty much every other amp that I've got. It's actually a bit of an eye-opener for me to maybe look through the rest of what I have and just pare it down to what is, works best for me for very, particular things. I don't need various types of amp that all sound like a Fender blackface amp, probably, as much as I like them. But what I can say is this amp, for what it's made for, truly is really special. And the listing may come down from Reverb. I'm going to leave it up there for a while. It's on there at a price that I'd be happy to take, probably. But as I play this every day for the next week or two, I might discover that I, really, really fall for it. All I can say is this amp is, for what it does, really special. And if you're someone that is creating big sounding, sort of effects driven sounds, this amp might be something, if you're a professional, if you're touring, if you're in this, a big studio, this would be a great studio thing to have, actually. I can't imagine many amps sounding better for this sort of sound. And actually, for anything ambient or sort of more lyrical or, for lots of things. It's very creative. You can be very creative with it. It doesn't have limitations like many amps do. It just sort of opens up and expands, and being 100 watts, the headroom is truly huge enough to take anything you throw at it. So anyway, we'll close out with a bit more playing. I really got into this when I was playing and really enjoyed it. So I hope it's something you enjoy listening to. But yeah, I think the journey with this amp is not finished yet. And we'll check in again in a few weeks if I discover anything more that I really like about it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Cheers.